All right, made it to the grocery store. Let's take a look at what I have on my list for the week. Right, I didn't make one. Well, I can still. My cart has nothing but snacks and caffeine.
Your total is $300.
Right.
Hello. Today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Planning dinner for the week isn't my strong suit, which is why I've used HelloFresh for almost 4 years now. So instead of staring at my pantry, giving up, and ordering lukewarm, semi-edible food for 3 times the price, I let HelloFresh take care of it. And with their biggest menu yet, I have over 50 dinner options and even more market items that suit any healthy lifestyle. They have fit and wholesome, family-friendly, quick and easy, vegetarian, and more. Each box is packed with fresh ingredients, and everything arrives pre-portioned and ready at your doorstep for less hassle. As the seasons change, so do their seasonal menus, which highlight peak ingredients and flavors of every season. I'm especially excited for their summer menu. And because their menu always has new recipes, I get to try new things. For example, I've never had polenta before, but I'm excited to give it a try. If plans change and life gets busy, HelloFresh lets you easily customize your delivery from week to week. Everything can be tailored to your schedule by adjusting your delivery day and even skipping a week when you're not able to cook at home. I'm always so proud when the meal turns out just like the picture. Turns out, I love polenta. It's like the corn version of mashed potatoes. How did I not know about this? Click the link in the description or use my code mkayamy10 to get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. 1 breakfast item per box while subscription is active if you're in the US. Outside the US, the local discounts will apply. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video, and let's get on to it. Hi. Oh, no, we're open. Come on in. Oh, just set that there. Yeah, hello, welcome to our retro game shop. We do buy, sell, and trade. So, go ahead, look around, see if there's anything you'd like. I'll be here if you need me. Just sort of hanging out. Was there anything that you are looking for specifically? Okay. Yeah, interesting. So, you were thinking of looking for a GameCube? Yeah, we actually have a few here. We have a purple one, a silver one, and a black one. And we have a lot of the purple one actually, with varying levels of, conditions, and of course the price will allow, or vary. Sorry, we haven't had anyone in hardly all day because our open sign has been sort of messed up, so everyone thinks we're closed. Of course, we're a store, but somehow I didn't expect someone to walk in. You caught me off guard. So the GameCube. Right. So you were thinking, was there a specific game that you were wanting to play? Because we do also have GameCube games, if you'd like. Right, okay. So you wanted to replay Mario Kart, Smash Bros, Zelda games, yeah. I do have some favorites on the GameCube. I like Animal Crossing, and I'm a big fan of the Harvest Moon series back when it was good. Not so much now. Yeah, some really good ones. So is there anything specific about the GameCube, or are you willing to look at other systems? Well, I only ask because, did you know that you can actually play GameCube games on the Wii as well? Yeah, it depends on the type of Wii. There are 2 types. Let me see, I have one around here. Right here. So the GameCube system is fantastic, but I will say it is a bit ornery, and it tends to just be a bit finicky and not work sometimes. A lot of like banging on it and blowing on the disc, and it can be a bit finicky, right? Which is why I actually recommend the Wii, because not only, again, can you play Wii games, but you can play GameCube games. All you need is a memory card, which I can sell to you as well, very cheap. I think it's like 10 bucks or something like that. And it's actually cheaper. I believe this one will be, I think with the condition it's in, probably be about $90. And then the GameCube, the models that we have range about $150, just because it's an older system. But this Wii, and this is where you can put the Nintendo GameCube memory card. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, it's a bit dirty. Apologies, this one. It's a bit dirty, needs to be cleaned. But yeah, so I can play both. And then of course you have the option of being able to play it on maybe some better TVs, unless you like playing it on maybe like a CRTV, which is very nostalgic and fun. I also enjoy playing older games on CRTVs just because it feels like sometimes like they're made to be played on those TVs. The only thing I have against them is that whine that they have, like that high-pitched sounds that they have. Some start out without it and then they eventually get it. I think you can fix it, but you have to take it apart. So yeah, this is the Nintendo Wii. Now, I believe this came out in 2006, 2001, 2006. Getting my dates a little mixed up, but it is definitely an older, it's about 20 years old, but it still works just fine. We do have a guarantee to make sure we make sure that everything works before we sell it, and of course we have 30 days to try it out, and if there's anything wrong, full refund. But past 30 days, unfortunately, we can't do anything about it. But so yeah, that is the Wii. I don't know, here, show you the front. There's like a cat hair on my lip, sorry. So here's the front where you would put the Wii games in. So not a lot of people liked the Wii. I think that's why, well, it's not as old as GameCube. Not a lot of people liked GameCube, now that I think about it, back in the day, because it was just, the first system that, yeah. But, what was I going to say? I was going to say something about this Wii. Nintendo thought that they were going to revolutionize gaming as we know it with the Wii nunchucks, but people were not a fan, and it a lot of times did not work. But again, like I mentioned, you don't have to use the Wii remote. You can use the GameCube controllers. It comes with this little sensor bar that you can use for the Wii remote. Wii games are still fun. I still find a lot of joy in Wii games. I think we do have Wii Sports, if you like. That's very popular. We have a copy of Wii Sports. We have, actually, let me see. There are some new ones that we got in. Were you a fan of like Harvest Moon or Animal Crossing at all? Okay. What about Stardew Valley? Okay, so have you ever played Rune Factory? Now, Rune Factory is pretty similar to Stardew Valley in my opinion, because you have the farming aspect, and of course you have your marriage candidates, and then like the rest of the game is fighting monsters. So this one is Rune Factory Frontier. There's a lot of different Rune Factory games. I think there's like 5 or 6 out now. There was a new one that came out on the Switch. Oh gosh, 4 or 5 years ago? Or maybe 3. Oh gosh, it's been a while, but not too bad. But I find them to be quite fun. If you enjoy the farming but also fighting. Some farming games that are more farming heavy can get quite boring for me, because you water your crops, you pick your crops, you feed your animals, and then what else do you do? And then you just go to bed and you wake up, and then you go to bed. But with the fighting aspect, it feels like there is something to do. And the other thing about Rune Factory is that they do have a storyline. And of course, Stardew Valley does also have a storyline, same with, Harvest Moon and stuff. But this one is more of an epic adventure. More epic than Stardew Valley, more epic than Harvest Moon. The monsters are typically, more like monsters. In some of the farming games, the monsters you fight are like, I don't know, more cutesy. But to be fair, I haven't played all of the Rune Factory games, so I can't say that it's like that for all of them. But in general, I think these are really fantastic if you like those farming type games. So I will set this one aside. This one, I believe, actually, let me look up the price for you. I'm just gonna see what it's going for. Just gonna see. Okay, so it does have the booklet. Okay, I'm just gonna take a look. So, thankfully no scratches, we're good. Needs to be cleaned, and I can do that for you. If you choose to buy it, I can wipe it off for you. Just set aside. So I'm gonna say no scratches. Near mint. Okay, so it looks like about $19. Not bad. Yeah. Are there any other games that you were looking for? And did you have those games on the GameCube that you were looking to play? Like the Mario Kart and Brawl? Yeah? Okay. Are you a Zelda fan? I'm a huge Zelda fan. So this looks a bit beat up, but I promise it's the disc itself is still good. But this is the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition for the Wii. So it has a promotional disc that includes 4 classic games, okay? So you can play Legend of Zelda, Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask, all on the same disc that you can play on the Wii. It also includes the demo for Wind Waker. That's what this was for. This was to promote Wind Waker, so that this is not for resale, but so this was very, very cool. But the fact that it just comes with 4 Zelda games is just absolutely the coolest thing ever. But it is a GameCube game. Again, I'm just saying that you can play it on the Wii, but it's a GameCube game. So it does have the booklet and the disc here. Let's take it out and take a look at it. They're always so delicate, so I'm okay. Now this one is definitely lightly played. The GameCube system, again, it's a bit finicky and it tends to scratch. It's not necessarily just the person who's handling it, but yeah, this one is a bit scratched up, but it will work just fine. Again, we test everything to make sure they work. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back. So yeah, if you're interested in this, I can go ahead and check the price for you. See what it's going for online, the current market price. You're thinking about it? Okay, I can just check the price for you. I know that a lot of times that really does influence, the purchase. So, collector's edition, promotional disc, GameCube. Okay, let's go. So this one I can go down to about $80 for you, just because of the condition of the disc, although again, it works just fine, no issues. The scratches are all light scratches, nothing that will cause any disturbances in the game. But yeah, I can give that to you for $80 if you like. But if you do choose the Wii, you will need Wii or GameCube controllers still. Did you have GameCube controllers? No? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I can actually show you. We have this one here. This one's already priced $19.99. So this is a aftermarket GameCube controller. It's a classic controller, compatible with Wii and the GameCube. Yeah. So this one is still in its little container here. So we do have this silver one. We have a few, so I'll show you. And we have, now this one is an original. Okay, now this one, of course, is an original GameCube controller. You can still use it on the Wii, but it is that silver color. It's not going to be any different really than the aftermarket one. It just has that logo difference, as well as just knowing that it's original. But this one is really like pristine condition. It's absolutely clean. No sticky buttons here. So yeah, you can see a little closer. This one. This one. These are some of my favorite controllers actually that Nintendo has ever had. I did like the Nintendo 64 controller, but it was just a little bit too big. And I think they did really improve it with the GameCube controller. Not a fan of the Wii controller, the Wii remote, personally. And then with the Switch, they're just too small. You know, even for my hands, which, you know, are a bit smaller. I just can't imagine, you know, someone with bigger hands trying to use the Wii remote. It just feels like it would be, you know, make your hand cramp after a while. Oh, I guess there's different types of controllers for the Nintendo Switch. They have the original controllers that you can play on the Switch, and then they have the one that you can like clip the Switch remotes into and make it look like a square. And then they do have aftermarket type ones that look a bit more like, they actually look a bit like PlayStation controllers or something. A bit more bulky. But yeah, they definitely have a lot of controller options for the Switch. But again, still, this one is one of my favorites. Just in terms of, you know, all the buttons being close to each other, but also comfortable to hold in your hand. It's really nice. So we have that one. I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap that up. Now the downside to the Wii remotes, the GameCube controllers, is that you have to play them plugged in. So you can plug the controllers in. Did I call these HDMI cables earlier? I don't know why I did. These are for the GameCube controllers. Yeah, that was silly of me, but yeah. So those are for the GameCube controllers. So you have to be right there, you know. So if your TV is large, you're gonna be right there because the cords don't, you know, they're not that long. But I have an option for you. Okay. Now, again, I think this is also aftermarket. It might not be. Apologies. But this is a GameCube controller that you can connect to the Wii remote, and the Wii remote essentially is like the battery for the GameCube controller, so you can play on your couch super far away from your TV so that you don't need to be right there. So we do only have one of these. I can order another one for you if this is something that you're looking for. It's a bit bulkier. You know, it's like the buttons are like a little farther away, but it still has that same charm, feels the same. Yeah. So this is really nice. You can see, like, this doesn't have that sort of rubber material on it. It's a bit more plasticky, same as this one. Doesn't quite have that like rubbery feel. But these buttons are nice. Yeah, just in general a bit more plasticky, like a lighter plastic. But that actually is why it's lighter. The controller itself is lighter. But really, in terms of being able to be away from your TV, it's really nice. It is going to be a little bit more in price just because of that, but it's really worth it, I think. If you are going to be playing on, a CRTV or a TV of that size, it's maybe not that big of a deal, and you may not need this. It just really depends on your setup. So, this one is a Luigi one. I believe they did have one for Mario and Peach and Toad. At least this aftermarket vendor controller maker. Yeah, yeah, it looks like aftermarket. Yeah, okay. But very, very cool. And those are options for you that we have here. I do have some in the back that we need to still test to make sure that there's still working. But it is, I can't remember the color, but it is a see-through. I believe it's a see-through type. Yeah. Yes. So, did you want to go with the Wii, or did you want to stick with the GameCube? Yeah. Okay. I said, I always recommend the Wii over the GameCube for many reasons, but just the fact that you can play both GameCube and Wii games. Because if we're going for the whole nostalgia thing, hey, the more games you can play, the better. Were there any games that maybe we don't have that you were looking for that I could order for you? Either be it Wii or GameCube. Oh, that's an interesting one. I haven't played that in a long time. Billy Hatcher. That one is actually quite expensive, believe it or not. It's around $100 for just the game. Let me just double check that. GameCube. And one of the reasons behind that is just, first of all, nostalgia. But also, it was only ever made on the GameCube. It was never, remade for another system or anything like that. So, yeah, it's exclusive to the GameCube, which can, again, be hard to play GameCube games unless you have certain setups. So, that one is an interesting one. I had a lot of fun playing that one back in the day. They have the battle mode. I don't think I ever played the story mode because I had so much fun playing battle mode with all my friends. So that one was fun. I can order that for you if you like. A bit expensive, yeah. I hear you. It's the same reason why I don't own it myself. Waiting to see if the price goes down someday. It's probably gonna go up, but what can you do? Okay. Wind Waker? Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So it looks like the price varies on that one. But I can get that. You don't mind the price? Okay, well, I feel the same way. It's one of my favorites. I'll go ahead and get that ordered for you. Just give me a moment here. And you can pick that up. We'll give you a call when it arrives and you can pick that up. No need to pay until until it gets here. Just wait and then pay then. If you change your mind, that's okay. Because again, especially like the Zelda, Pokemon, those sort of things, and Mario, they sell out really, really quick. But of course, I'll keep it on hold until you decide if you want it. Okay. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and get that ordered. Good choice. That's a good one. A lot of people didn't like the toon look of that game, but personally, I think that it had just like quite a style, a different style. People thought it looked very childish, which, you know, kind of, but to me, it was very cute, and it still holds up to this day. It's an absolutely gorgeous game, and just like the little swirls and the different, just the art itself is absolutely gorgeous, personally, and the way that the NPCs look are just very stylized. I really appreciate games that have a very unique style that I can look at and say, oh, you know, that's from Wind Waker, oh, that's from Twilight Princess. So I love it. I'm a huge fan, but also I loved just sailing around with the little boat guy, the red dragon. I can't remember what he called himself. The red lion, that's what it was. I loved sailing around and finding all the fish and completing the map. For me, I hadn't played a lot of, you know, open world games at that time, or semi-open world, and this was really my first open world game, because you could really just go anywhere. Of course, there were things stopping you from getting to certain islands until you progressed, but just sailing around, finding the different islands, finding the different NPCs, and it was fantastic. I love it. I love it. I tend to replay it every 5 to 7 years or so, which sounds like, oh, that's a lot, but like I'm constantly replaying Zelda games, if that makes sense. So anyway, I love that one. Where were we? Was there anything else you wanted? Oh, you wanted to trade in something. Oh, I'm sorry. I just went straight to what do you want? Yes. Oh, by the way, I am going to give you these as well. All these cords. They go with the Wii. Everything you need to get yourself set up, I am going to give to you with the Wii. Okay, so included in the price, right? Just want to let you know. It does also come with one Wii remote controller. Let's see. So just wanted to show you so you're just aware. This comes with the game. We have this controller. Again, we made sure that everything works. Still works. This guy. And then it comes with this thing here. It even has a little. This, I don't even think this came with it. Did it come with it? Maybe it did. But it has a little, like, grippy thing around it that's actually quite soft. It feels really nice. But there's this thing. I just love the sound of this kind of controller. The GameCube controller has this as well. I'm just a huge fan. It feels really nice to move around. But yeah, there's that for you. I'll go ahead and set this with all of your stuff. Okay, so what is it that you would like to trade in today? Really? Okay. I'll go ahead and take a look. Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance. Okay. Okay, so this one. So you probably already know this, but interesting tidbit. This Game Boy Advance came out in 2001. Yeah, 2001. Came out in 2001. And it initially was going to have a backlit screen, but they decided to save battery that they decided to take it out. But the Game Boy Advance was so incredibly hard to play or see the game that you played because there was no backlit screen. So they had a little squiggly light that they would use to help with just being able to see the game itself, because unless you were in, direct sunlight, you could barely see the game. But even the light, the little squiggly light, even just barely helped. It was so hard to see the games. That's probably why I have terrible eyesight today. I think the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance is probably part of that. But they did come out with the Game Boy Advance, or the Game Boy Advance SP or something like that. I can't remember the name, but that version did have the backlit screen. They realized their mistake. Now this is actually a fantastic system, this little thing, because, similar to the Wii, it also plays Game Boy games, Game Boy Color games, with the, also playing Game Boy Advance games. So this is quite sought after, just because of the fact that if someone comes in wanting to play a Game Boy game, I'll say, did you know Game Boy Advance plays Game Boy as well as Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color? So you really get more bang for your buck kind of thing. Oh gosh, this is actually, and it's in very good condition, so. Game Boy Advance. Ball. I'm willing to pay almost $200 for this. Yeah. Does that sound good? Yeah, absolutely. Were there any games that you were thinking of selling with it? Really? You're kidding. Can I see it? Okay. I'm just gonna set that Game Boy Advance down there. Oh, goodness. Okay. The leaf green version of Pokemon. Wow. So this was made for the Game Boy Advance. So there was Fire Red and Leaf Green. And a lot of people nowadays, even back then, sort of had it mixed up with the original Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue. Fire Red especially, they would always think, oh, Fire Red, and they're different games set in the same place. They're in Kanto. They do kind of go through the same storyline. I think mostly the same storyline, but they are different. This one is in color. The originals, red and blue, not in color. And this has a lot of extra little tidbits, just a lot of secret little things. And the other main thing about this one, so this one came out in 2004. The original the original red and blue, I think it was either 1996 or 1998, but I think it was 1996. But this one came out in 2004. And this was actually the first game that they introduced the wireless connectivity, where you can trade your Pokemon as well as battle wirelessly. Of course, you could use, with the other games, you could use a wire, what do they call it? Well, it was some sort of cord that you would stick between the Game Boys. But this one was wireless. So that was really, really cool. And also, I believe in this one, I haven't played through it, but I believe you get all 3 starter Pokemon in this one. You follow sort of Ash in the movie, or in the TV show. You follow Ash's sort of where he goes, you go in this game, from what I remember. Very cool. This one, oh my gosh. Let me just take a quick look. Green. Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I'm willing to give you about $150 for it. Yeah. Well, first of all, it's a fantastic game that is highly sought after. It's just Pokemon right now is big. If you have anything Pokemon related, we definitely want it. Unless it's cards. We don't do cards here. No, sorry, we don't have any Pokemon cards. But just other things related to Pokemon, absolutely bring it in. The market for that is hot right now, which is why the price is so much. But I'm truly willing to pay that price because I could obviously sell it for more. But yeah, that sound good? Okay, so I think for the Game Boy Advance, I can do like 180 and then I'll do 150 for the leaf green. How does that sound? Awesome. That should honestly pay for the majority of what you're getting here. We could kind of like add everything up and all the math and everything, because the controllers aren't actually that much money. The GameCube controllers, like I said, they're about $20. And then that game, 100, 200, 20, 240. We can work it out, but it looks like you'll just have to pay a little bit more for just like the games, basically. Does that sound good? Awesome. Okay. All right. I had so much fun talking with you today and going over games and stuff. I would love for you to come back and chat more, but for now, let's go ahead. I'll ring you up and we do cash and card. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you spending time with me. Okay.